think we might be doing it now. Are you guys going over there? Go over to. It's starting to stream now, and there should be a live chat next to it. So we're gonna talk about detransitioning. I didn't want to start talking about it until I started going live. Okay. So here we go. I'll see you guys in a little bit over on the other side. Okay. Join me at YouTube. I posted the link. I'll post it again here. Join me over there. Let's try to make this work, okay? See you guys in a little bit. Go to YouTube. Okay, so it seems to be running kind of slow. I'm not really sure why. I took that off there. Um, so this morning, what I want to talk about is detransitioning. Okay, it seems to be something that we're not really discussing. And it's very important. There was an article. Hi, Philip. Good to see you, my friend. It's lagging behind, which kind of sucks. I'm going to figure out why it's lagging behind so much. But that kind of sucks because I don't really like this. Again, I'm working out the kinks. And also, I don't necessarily think the quality seems as good. I think I might get another. How's that? Is that better? Let's see. Let's make this go like this. Get Tramp all situated here. How's that? Is that better? I'm just doing this on the fly, kids. You see my messy office in the back. Okay, so hi everybody. It's good to see you all. Working out the kinks live. So I want to start discussing I'm not going to type much, okay? So this is what I want to talk about. It's difficult. It's very difficult. It's a difficult subject matter that I'm going to talk about right now, okay? It's a very difficult subject matter I want to talk about, but I kind of wanted, yeah, okay, I'm going to work all of that stuff out. I think it might be my internet connection. It might be the format, the actual software that I'm using. I'm going to ask other people who do this what software they use. I'm using Wirecast, but maybe I should be using something else. I don't know. Okay. So here, the reason why I want to start doing it on YouTube because I think it's a bigger platform, and I also think that we can talk a little bit more freely here. I'm not really sure. I can't refresh. I can't. It does. It's not the way this particular software works. There's no refreshing. Uh, but I'll work on it tomorrow and see if I can make it a little bit better. But right now I'm using some. Well, that's good, Philip. I like that. I do think it's a better platform, but I could be lying. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see. We're gonna wait. So there was an article that was. Yeah, it's probably going to do that too. There was an you can also go back and watch this, but there was an article written by the Seattle Stranger uh, last week, and I was in it, and it was an article about detransitioning, and I'm trying to look for it right now. I want to post the link to it. It's very important. This is a response to it right here. This is a response to it right here. Oh, not that. That's not it. And some of the people in the community are not happy with it. They're not happy with it at all. And I don't really know why they're not happy with it because I really believe that it's a very important subject. And I don't understand why everybody's getting so upset about it. And then I stepped back from it for a minute and I said to myself, oh, I know why people are getting upset about that. I want to know why they're getting upset about it? Because I know why they're getting upset about it. Read this article. There. It's very important. That talks. Yeah, it is lagging. I see now it's better. It talks a little bit about. Hold on one second here. I want you to see my channel. I'll share it. It talks about uh, detransitioning and why it's a very important subject to talk about. But people in our community got so upset about it. It was unbelievable. They're acting as if I don't even know. I find it really disturbing that people in our community would attack this journalist, which they have. They've attacked her. They've totally attacked her, which is not cool. You can't go attack somebody like that. Good morning, Rose. It's nice to see you. This article, too. These are very, 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 very important subjects. And I'm not sure. Well, God, I got to stop saying that because I do know why. I do know. I'm being taken away my thought because I'm trying to figure out to make sure that this is all working right. And I want to make sure that you guys all see me and hear me and not. Yeah, it's going to take time to get used to this. It's a whole new platform. By the end of the week, we're going to be all fucking situated. I'm going to also figure out how to do it on my phone. But I think, honestly, we're going to have a better interaction here. And we're going to be able... Hi, Ty. Hi, Philip. Hi, Rose. Hi, Angela. So I see all you guys are moving over. That's great. We're going to do it little by little. I'll stay on here for a while and then get everybody moved over. But I honestly believe once I work out all the technical stuff that we're really going to be able to work this out. I'm getting back to the subject at hand, which is detransitioning. I believe it is a very important, me, nobody else, me. I believe it is a very important subject to talk about, and it needs to be spoken about, and I don't care what people think about it. It's people are actually doing it. It's actually happening. It's a real thing. Why is it happening? And why is it happening at a faster rate than ever? It's the same with transitioning. It's happening at a faster rate than ever. So is detransitioning. These are real subjects. These are real subjects that our community who should care about each other should want to discuss, not hide. Why are you scared of talking about detransitioning? And what I noticed it was some trans women in Seattle. I haven't seen any trans men be outspoken negatively about it, but there's a whole bunch of trans women. Hi, Alicia, good to see you. Who are very pissed off and very upset and attacked the journalist from the Seattle Stranger that she was misinforming, that she just what? No, that's not true. I'm part of that article. They reached out to me. I can tell you exactly the way that they did that article because I was part of it. In no way did they not ask for voices. They reached out to so many people. They wanted for me to interview me. I said, no, I'm not detransitioning. I don't want to be interviewed, but I will give you my feedback on why I feel my transition is important to me, but I'm not going to say anything about it. But what I want to know is why are people getting so upset about it? Why are people wanting to hide it? Why are people acting as if the stranger is not being proactive or being pro-trans community when they write? Of course, that means they care about our community. When they write about us, they care about us. They care about us. Our voice is getting out there. O'Neill says, because they dive in, get stuff off the street, then change their minds. Yes, and that's important, but that's not the only thing that's happening. Read the article. This is the real voice from the people who really transition, not some bullshit made up stuff. And that's why nobody can say shit about it, because it's really from the mouth of the people detransitioning. They're real stories. They're real thoughts. And so when the stranger came to me and asked me to be part of that, I said, I would love to help you find voices because I've been thinking about this for years. And what I see is a shitstorm. I see a shitstorm happening in our community more than ever if we don't talk about detransitioning. It's a real fucking thing. Ooh, I don't know if I need to watch my mouth on here. I don't know if I'm supposed to be not saying cuss words. I'm scared to get censored. So, Ty says, yes, I agree. It's important to discuss about this. It is important, and I will discuss it. I'm the guy who wants to discuss, as well as you. I want to discuss what's going on in our community. What are the problems in our community? We have so many problems. One of the problems is there is no love for each other. There is no time for communication, dialogue. There's only time to tear each other apart, which I find really insulting and disgusting. Rosemary says, I think it's because of society. People are getting so much flack, and some people just can't handle the transition. Hi, Katie. It's great to see you. Thanks for finding your way here. It could be about that, too. But I personally, watching the people talk shit about the article, I'm personally thinking this. They feel fearful of that article because they're not secure enough in their own being in order to understand that we need to have all kinds of voices in this community, not just your voice. And these are trans women who are pissed about it. You're transitioning. What does that have to do with the detransitioners? Nothing. You don't get to have a voice in an article that deals with detransitioning when you're not detransitioning. So I did get a piece in the article, a very small point, but I didn't really want to be in the article, I'll be honest with you, because I felt the article needed the voices of detransitioners and not people who are happy with their transition. Philip says, I felt like detransitioning, but it would be out of others' comfortabilities. I am who I am. Yes, that's also the point. Never detransition because you're worried or what other people fucking think. Or whatever. Detransition because you need to do it. Whatever. Who the fuck cares? It's your choice. That's the bottom line. It's your choice to detransition. Nobody else's. So nobody gets to have a fucking word about it. So when they write an article with voices from people who have detransitioned, you don't get to have an opinion about that. You don't get to say anything about that. That is another person's fucking life. That's another person's desire to change. That's another person's desire to create the world that they need to. They went that way. It didn't work for them. They're going to come back. Why do you think you get to have a fucking opinion about that? Why do you think you get to have a fucking opinion about the way anybody in our community is? You don't get to have an opinion. It has nothing to do with you. My life has nothing to do with your life. I walk the world in my own shoes, in my own vagina, in my own everything. What is wrong with this community? In order to move forward, we better start understanding that dialogue is different than opinion. Stop giving your opinions about everything. It doesn't make it better. It makes it worse for everyone in this community when everyone has an opinion about everything that everyone's doing. Come back, my friends. Come back and look in the mirror. Look at yourself. Create your own place. Stop worrying what the rest of the fucking community is doing because it doesn't affect you. Whether or not you believe it or not, it doesn't affect you. My voice is powerful. Your voice is powerful. Find the platform for your voice and speak it, but stop knocking down other people's choices. Katie says, do you think it's along the line of people who change their orientation from homosexual to heterosexual? No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. But I also know that people do change their orientation quite often. That speaks volumes to me. That speaks volume. I think it's much easier to play with your sexuality on many levels than it is to play so much with your gender, especially people who are using medical or surgical options. That's a no turning back kind of situation, right? Like once you start shooting hormones, you're getting different facial hair if you're a trans man or a trans woman. Things are changing. Those are many things that are never going to go back, ever. Ever, ever, ever. So what do we do about that? Let's have a fucking discussion. Let's have a discussion like we are now. I don't know why nobody else can have a discussion about it. It doesn't make sense to me at all. I'm not sure why people don't want to talk about it, other than I think that they're fearful about it. And people are very fearful about what they don't know. Or people are fearful when they believe they're being attacked. And no one's attacking anyone. People just want to talk about this. I want to talk about it. I've been wanting to talk about it for years. I've been wanting to talk about it for a long time since I saw what was happening in our community. And what was happening in our community is we weren't talking about people who are detransitioning. And people who are transitioning at such a fast rate that it didn't make sense to me that, wait a minute here. Let's have a discussion. We're taking mental health care out of the equation. Really? We're taking mental health care out of the equation of transitioning? I personally disagree with that. I personally disagree with that. I will tell you, for me, it was the best thing ever. I'm not saying we need gatekeepers. We have plenty of gatekeepers in this community. I'm not saying mental health needs to be gatekeeping. So don't put words in my mouth, because I know that's what you're thinking right now. I think mental health is a very important part of transitioning. I think you should go to some therapy. I'm not saying the therapist should make the choice for you, and that's not at all. But I think if you sat down and spoke with somebody who is professionally trained to talk to people who feel their gender is not happening for them, that is the healthiest thing you can do for your transition. Rosemary says mental health should be the first thing is the agenda for anyone, 100%. I will speak to that forever. There are people in our community who will try to shut that down because, why? They think they're gatekeepers. They are not gatekeepers. They are helping you to discuss your own self in the privacy of a room where you are not in any way judged, where you don't feel disconnected, where they want to help you have a healthy transition. They don't want to stop you from having. They're gender therapists. That's what they do. They're gender therapists. They want you to transition. They want you to have a healthy transition. They're trying to make it healthy for you. They're not trying to take anything away from you. That's why it's dangerous that people are saying that, because it's not true. What's happening is that they want to make it beautiful for you. I'm proof of it. I went to years of mental health care before. I'm pretty fucking grounded, my friends. I'm pretty fucking forward. I believe in mental health. It is an amazing part of transitioning. If we are cutting that out, look what's happening. Read that article. How many of those detransitioning people went to any type of mental health care before they transitioned? Very few of them. Read it. O'Neill says, I had to be signed off for 3 psychologists stating I was mentally well enough, healthy enough to get surgery. You know, there's part of that I disagree with. There's part of it that I disagree with, because that's a gatekeeper. That's somebody telling you that you're not well enough. How do they know you're not well enough? That I disagree with. What I agree with is going to a therapist, not a psychologist. Totally different. Okay? A therapist is different than a psychologist or a psychiatrist. Somebody needs to talk to you before you take the plunge, because it's a plunge. If you're not having the conversation like this, let me give you an example. Pretend you're my therapist. So today, you're Dr. Goodbar. Hi, Dr. Goodbar. Thanks for seeing me today. I've been feeling a little bit scared about my transition, and I'm not really sure. I feel pressure from other people in the community. I'm not sure what I should do. I feel like I don't really want to take hormones, but like some of the guys are telling me if I don't take hormones, I'm not going to be trans enough. Like, I just feel very nervous. Dr. Goodbar says, my friend, Buck, you're totally okay. You don't have to take hormones. You don't have to have surgery. Do you know? You can just be you. That's all you need to do. Dress how you want to dress. Walk the world that way. Go out, be yourself, see how you feel. That's therapy. That's therapy. It's not the therapist telling you, well, you're sick, you need to go to the doctor and that. No, that's not therapy. A therapist, and I'm telling you from my own experiences, encourages you to figure out what works best for you. They don't tell you what works best for you. And if they're telling you what works best for you, then move on to another therapist. That's the great thing about therapy. You don't have to stay there. You can move on. So why are we not talking about how important therapy is? Why are we scared? Why is this community scared of therapists? I know why some people did it, and I'll tell you my opinion of that. Rosemary says, I agree, O'Neill. 6 months of therapy would help people figure out what's going on in their heads. 100%. 6 months is a long time. I don't know. It varies for everybody. That's the other thing. Everybody's different. Some people need more. Some people need less. I opt for 6 sessions. I opt for 6 sessions. Go, see how you feel. You might want to have more. You might want to have less. But I think 6 sessions give you an idea of what's going on with you. And then we can move on from there. But if we're not even starting with talking about any type of mental health, how do we move on, friends? How do we move on? How do we stop people from getting into a space where they transitioned and then they hate it? and then they detransition when they never needed to be in that space in the first place? How do we stop people from transitioning when they're not ready to transition? How do we know when someone's ready? How do we know when someone isn't ready? These are really important questions. Why are we not talking about these questions? Why is it just that I'm trans, I'm going to take hormones, and that's that? That is dangerous behavior. That is dangerous behavior. Hormones are not a joke. They actually physically change you. They physically change you, and some of that stuff is no turning back. Read the article. I'm telling you, read the article, because when you read, I'm going to paste it again here. When you read the article, you will see exactly what I'm talking about. And exactly what I'm talking about is many of these people didn't go to therapy. Many of these people felt pressured in. It's really fascinating to me. Right, that's probably one of the causes of people transitioning, Angela says. The doctor should be talking and getting to know them. Yes, exactly. Exactly. There's so much that we could prevent. We could make it so preventative by having a little bit of a structure. We don't have any structure anymore. Again, I'm going to do old man grandpa shit, and I'm not saying that that's the way it should be at all. I'm telling you this. When I did it, yes, I had to go to therapy, a mental health care professional, a therapist, who gave me a note, who said that she believed that I was trans and that I should be able to start taking hormones. Then my hormone doctor, who I was his first, decided that I could take hormones, started me on hormones, and from there I had to get a note from my therapist and my hormone doctor in order to go to my surgeon. And then my surgeon did a whole thing with me to see if I was mentally stable enough to do that. And and here I stand today, 22 years later. It's a process, people. It's not, how do I put it? It's a process. It is life-changing. It is not a game. It is not, I'm saying this because I don't want people to detransition. I don't want people to feel that they didn't do the right thing. That's not a positive thing. That's a negative thing. I very much have so much feeling and compassion and empathy for detransitioners. It hurts my feelings. It hurts my feelings because I know they're not happy. They don't get to have the same thing I have. The best thing I ever did was to transition. It changed my life I will never look back. So why are people detransitioning? Why are they not in the same space as me or you? Why are they not getting what me and you are getting? That's the part that I'm having a problem with, and that's the part that I want to discuss, and that's the part that I want to stop happening. So Angela O'Neill says the doctor should be talking and getting to know them. Rosemary says, do you think it might be some people think it's cool to transition, then when the transition starts, they backpedal because of being scared? Well, I wouldn't say that they necessarily think it's cool, and I don't know, I can't really speak to that. But what I do think is that people get caught up in emotions, and they get caught up in things, and sometimes they see things, and sometimes they want those things, and sometimes they don't realize those things are not really them. And even though they're dressing in those tight jeans and those tight, what do they call those jeans that everybody wears, and then maybe isn't something they feel comfortable in, they're only doing it because it's trendy. Now, I'm not saying people are transitioning because it's trendy at all. I'm saying people might be transitioning for the wrong reason. And some people think that they have to take hormones in order to transition because they're being bullied into that. Or some people think they have to have surgery because they're being bullied into it. That's what I'm saying. And that's why people are detransitioning. Really, because if you read the article again, you're going to see people didn't really take the long steps to understand what it means to transition medically. Now, I'm talking medical. Transitioning with no medical, all that, is a whole other story because you don't have anything other to do than maybe change your identity back or your name, but you haven't gone to medical transition in a living way possible. Yes, Rosemary, absolutely. It's a bloody fad over here. Rosemary said, that's what I'm scared of. O'Neill says, so many butches under 30 running around having done street tea for a bit. O'Neill, O'Neill, where are you from, my friend? It sounds like you're British, but I don't want to make any assumptions. Rosemary says, yes, that's what I'm getting at. I don't want to say that, my friends. I don't know. For me, I don't know if it's trendy or I don't really know what's going on. Is it just more accessible? So people are being cool about it? What is it? I don't really know. It could be many things. But what is the most important thing? Sarah Jane says, I read both articles you have posted and can't see any negative points in the original article. The main point I got was pressure to exactly, exactly. And now I'm going to post to you in a bit where all of these trans women in Seattle ripped apart the stranger, saying that it's false. I don't even know that they were lied to, that the article isn't good. What are you talking? They're fearful. They're fearful. They don't want this information to get put out into the world that people are detransitioning because they think it will look bad for our community. Really? So you think we're just going to sweep it under the rug and hide it? I'm not. I'm going to talk about it. I don't care. We have to talk about it. I want to save these kids. I want to save these kids from the heartache of transitioning and then realizing it's not for them. Shame on our part of our community who's hiding that. Shame on the part of our community whose only ego is about them. And so they're scared for themselves. They're not scared for the community. Don't let them fool you. They're scared for themselves. And it's why they want to shut the conversation down. That's why. O'Neill says Vancouver, BC. Randy here. Sorry. Hi, Randy. Because the way you were speaking, it sounded very British. So, yeah, I don't know if it's a fad. I don't know what. I was in Seattle and Portland. There's a lot of trans guys there. I don't know what's going on, but most important for me is I want people to be happy. I want you to transition on your own time. I want you to transition on your own terms. I want you to transition because it's the best thing that's going to happen to you, and you're going to have what we all have, which is an amazing life. I don't want you to transition and go, not really sure if that was what I should have done. You should have thought about, or you should have had the opportunity to think about that before you transition. Don't you think? Don't you think? That's what I think. I think you should have had the opportunity to discuss it with somebody. So I just hope she moves and gets better care. Who's that? There was a trans girl I was following and her transition was fudged. And the moment she took her first dose of hormones, wasn't given blockers plus 2 IV dose, she had a negative. Of course, because nobody even knows what they're doing. There's tons of doctors out there who know shit about us. We don't have studies. Do you know how old I am and how long I've been on hormones? A long time. A long time. There's not a lot of people like me. Why are they not studying me? Why are they not using me as a study? Because they don't give a fuck about us. So don't let the medical world fool you. Don't let them fool you. They would have a lot more advanced medicine if they really cared about us. As far as I'm concerned right now, they see money. They see money. The medical world sees money. They see surgeries. They see hormones. Why do you think they're just letting us have hormones like mad? Think about it. Think about it for one moment. Why do you think they're just letting us have surgeries, letting us have hormones? Because it's the medical world. All they see is dollar signs. They're fucking totally okay with ripping us apart. They're totally okay with making us however they think that if we're paying the money. Are they giving us free surgeries? No. Do you think that if surgery was free and hormones were free in the United States of America, they would just be doling it out? No. Think about it for a moment, my friends. Think about it. We have to pay for everything, right? So why do you think that they're like, yeah, come and have surgery. I'll do fine. Do you know that there are fucking Garamoni, who I'm not saying is a bad top surgeon because of stuff I've seen is great, but him as an individual person, he's horrible. He's a scammer. He scams our community. He does 5 surgeries a day at $5,000, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 times 5. How much is that? How much is that? Over $100,000 a week, my friends. Is that man giving back to our community? That's what I'm talking about. Look at the bigger picture. We are a monopoly, my friends. We are worth a lot of money to the medical world. That's why they're just letting people take hormones. They're letting people give surgeries as long as you can come up. And so that is making the people in our community go crazy because they need the money to change. So they're all making GoFundMe campaigns. They're all doing all of these things in order to create money in order to transition. Do you see the bigger picture? Yes, the almighty Rosemary says, rules. People don't care for each other like we should. Sarah Jane says, yes, bandwagon doctors with no experience or money. Oh. There's a bottom surgeon. Fuck, his name escapes me right now. A bottom surgeon who has already done 5 shitty bottom surgeries, being sued, lost his life, he lost his license in one state, just went to another, opened another, doing bottom surgeries on trans men, and fucking horrible stuff is happening to these kids. They're getting infections, it's horrible. Yet he's still practicing transgender surgery. Really, people? Really? That man should be in jail. That man should be in jail for even one botched surgery. Even one botched surgery, that man should be in jail. But no, he just moves to another fucking state, opens another clinic, gets a license. Yeah, I think it is the Florida guy. O'Neill, can you do a little research for me right now? I'm still not familiar with this format, so I don't want to lose the thing. What's his name? I think it starts with an S. That is my point. Do you see my point? It's bigger than that. People, we need to have these discussions. We need to have these discussions. We need to have some kind of thing going on in our community where we're talking about why this is happening, why it's so easy to get hormones, why it's so easy to get surgery. Crane. Thank you, Ty. It's Crane. Go do your research right now. I have a ton of it. They've sent it to me. I posted it on my page. I'm going to repost it because just not too long ago, I was speaking at the LGBT Center and someone said, oh, we're bringing Dr. Crane on board. I'm like, what? Have you read about him? Have you read about him? Yeah, this is why we need laws to protect. Exactly, Philip. We have no laws. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about us. If we don't care about us, nobody will, my friends. Nobody will. We have to care about us. It's so important. Okay, kids, I'm going to go. I'm going to go back on Facebook Live right now and do a little one there in order to get people to understand this back and forthness, okay? So I love you guys a lot. Have a beautiful day. Remember this. You create your day, my friends. Remember, every day is your day. It's nobody else's day. You choose to be happy, sad, angry, all of the things that we have emotions. But remember, stop. When you're feeling angry and disconnected, stop. Get back into the zen. Hold your space. Know that you are okay and that you can walk the world as a person who is just you, no matter what anybody says to you, especially haters in our community. They are mean and ugly. They don't want you to be happy. They don't want you to be successful because they want to control you. They want to control you. Nobody in this community should ever say anything to you, ever. Hi, Mirabai. Follow him around Buck. As soon as you find out what state he's now practicing and file a complaint that states, yes, I'm working on that, my friend. Thank you. The new state will find out eventually, but it can take years. That's my point. That's my point. Once you lose your license, you should lose your license in the whole United States, especially when you're doing botched surgeries. How can you only lose your license in one state? Then you have 50 fucking more states to go. That's just disgusting behavior. And that speaks volumes to the capitalistic, greedy fucking shit this country has become. We don't care about each other anymore. We only care about making money. We only care about making money. That is not okay, especially in our community. And why are we not talking about that? We wouldn't have people who do medical transitioning and are detransitioning if we had a fucking conversation. Why are we not talking? That's not going to happen on my watch anymore. Let's do this. I love you guys a lot. I'm so happy we're doing our Facebook Live finally. It's going to take a little bit of time. We're going to get this down. And as we get this down, we will grow bigger. And we will bring more people on board so we can have these discussions and dialogues in order to create a better community. Our community is not happy. Our community is very sad. Our community is full of bullies, mean people, and people. I don't know who these people are, but there are people in our community who are controlling the narrative. And those people are very dangerous. And those people don't like people like myself because they're fearful of me speaking the truth, which, as you know, I only speak the truth. And I speak from my own experiences, and that's why you can't stop me. It's why you can't stop me, because I will continue to speak the truth. I will continue to tell you what I think about everything because I'm entitled to have that opinion and to think about those things. And if you don't like it, There's an off button. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not sitting back and watching our community tear each other apart anymore. I love this community, but the trans community has gone downhill. It has become something so negative and disgusting and sludgy and mean that I want to create a new community. I want to create a community where we love each other, we have compassion for each other, we have dialogue with each other. We can even have opinions about things as far as I'm concerned. We tell each other what we think without coming down on each other and creating negativity and hate. That's the community that I want to create, and that's the B Cup. The B Cup is creating a space where we can all identify and be whoever the fuck we want to be. So go, my friends, and create that day. And I'll see you back here tomorrow on YouTube. And I'm really excited that we're getting this platform made because I think that we're going to reach a bigger audience, which is very important to me. Because I think our message here at the B Cup is important, and I believe that there's many people that want to hear this message. Many, many people. So go and spread it, my friends, and let's create, let's create, let's create, because abundance is my favorite word. And if I create and you create and we work with each other, we've created abundance in our community, and we create ways to create jobs, we create security, we create happiness, and we create abundance. That's the key. People are fearful to share in our community because they're greedy, selfless people who don't want you to have. That's not what the B Cup is about. The B Cup is sharing. Bye, you guys. Have a beautiful, awesome day. I'm going to try to stop this now. And I love you. Don't forget that.